All right, brothers and sisters, hope everyone is doing well. This is 2.5. Let's get right into where we left off from Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 18. Verse 18. Okay. And I read, the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Now, if you remember in the video, they were talking about souling, right? They were talking about uh, souling. I'm not gonna play the video again, but around here they were talking about
In the
souling.
hopes of tiring out the young people of her town enough to stop the vandalism which had become the norm on October 31st in the early 1900s, Elizabeth Krantz threw a party for them.
Let me get a little bit more accurate. Oh, here it is, right here.
Vigil and fasting. Bonfires were still lit, but now they were for Christian heroes. And the changing of the season was still observed, but now for the glory of Christ. By the 16th century, the observance of souling, the act of knocking on people's doors and asking for a soul cake or soul mass cake in return for a prayer, was an integral part of all.
So, souling was about knocking on the door, asking for a prayer, and giving a cake in return. Now, I'm going to read this a little bit, okay, deeper into this. So let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44, and you're going to understand this more in this scripture. Jeremiah 44, 1 through 20 reads, the word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwell in the land of Egypt, which dwell at Migdol, and at Taphanes, and at Noth, and in the country of Pathros, southern Egypt, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, ye have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem and upon all the cities of Judah. And behold, this day they are a desolation, and no man dwelleth therein, because of their wickedness which they have committed to provoke me to anger, and that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods, whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your father. So once again, the Most High is hitting that first commandment, not to serve other gods. And what was the action towards serving other gods? Burning the incense. Okay, burning the incense. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. So you see, it came with an action, right? Serving another god and then sacrificing incense. Okay. And the sacrifice is the burning. See if I can pull that up. Now, driving out to smoke, turn into fragrance by fire, especially as an act of worship. Burn incense sacrifice upon altar. Now, you may sit there, brothers and sisters, and think that that little thing, that the little wooden thing that people stick the incense in, right? The incense, and then let it burn, and then all the drippings drop on it, right? You may think that's nothing, but I'm going to show you, okay, in the next lesson, how that is considered as an altar according to witches today who worship Wicca and Satanism. So that is an altar. Anything that upholds the item that you're burning is still considered an altar. All right. Moving forward, verse 6. Wherefore my fury and mine anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. They are wasted and desolate as at this day. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, wherefore commit ye this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you man and woman, child and suckling, out of Judah, to leave you none to remain. So you may be sitting there and saying, what great evil? See, in order to think the way the Most High thinks, you must not lean upon your own understanding. Burning incense seems innocent, right? You're trying to get a good smell or whatever the case is, right? But that is a great evil towards the Most High. And it has nothing to do with Him, it has all to do with your soul. You understand? Now, verse 8, and that ye provoke me unto wrath with the works of your hands. What works? Burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt, whither ye be gone to dwell, that ye might cut yourselves off, and that ye might be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. So, burning incense to another god. Now, some people may say, man, you're reaching. I don't serve no other gods. Okay, I'm going to show you that burning incense, whether you are worshiping a pagan god or not, is still offering unto another god, because the Most High never wanted that. And don't use the book of Exodus where the priesthood was using that, because one, if you believe in Christ and you believe in the atonement of Christ, it says Christ did away with the Aaron priesthood, which means the things that brought no value. The incense brought no value. The sacrificing of animals brought no value. In fact, the very things that Christ did away with from the Levitical priesthood, Satanists and witches use to this day. And I'm going to prove that in the next lesson as well. So if you burn an incense, guess what? You're not going to find but only Catholics doing that, right? They not supposed to do that. But you can see witches doing that, Wiccans. You can see Satanists doing that. You can see the vegans doing that. Okay, you can see the feminists doing it. You don't see nowhere in the New Testament, right, where Christ said, "Oh, we're gonna burn these incense," right? You didn't see nowhere that they were saying, "Okay, let me just get this positive energy," right? Okay, so this is complete evil works according to the Most High. Verse 9, have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? They are not humbled even until this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. So people usually doing this stuff, they usually don't care. is what it is. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. Now, I know Judah has this problem with incense. Levites, have a problem with incense, right? I mean, even Dominicans, they use incense too. I mean, hey, it's nothing wrong with seeing the problem. The problem is when you remain in it. You see what I'm saying? Seeing the problem is good, but remaining in the problem, that's the evil action. Okay. It says, I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They shall die from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine. And they shall be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. So that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return but such as shall escape. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. So now watch this. This doesn't just come to a personal responsibility. This comes to if just because you weren't doing it yourself, but if you stood by and watched people do this, and you knew it was wrong, and you were still kicking it with them and chilling and all that, hey, Most High coming for you too. I always tell people, I'm sorry, if you don't like something in the Bible, and I hate to be the person that you have to hear it from, because then you are held accountable to having the knowledge. So for those of you who may say, hey, I don't burn incense all I want, now you're held accountable, and that judgment will be even worse for you, because now you just flat out angering the Most High. Now you just flat out disobeying, like, well, that I don't think so. So you see what I'm saying? So all those who knew about their spouse burning incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by. And now, if this is the other way, men, if you have a wife and you're standing by and letting her light candles and all kinds of incense in the home, it still works the same way. Okay? It just doesn't have to be that the wives burn the incense. It could be the husbands burning the incense. Hey, just serve the Most High. Just do what he say. It's so simple. It's so simple. Verse 16 reads, As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. Boy, how many times I've heard this one. And I'm not saying I'm like Jeremiah, but I'll sit there and read the scripture, and then people will find like a million other scriptures to try and justify their action. I'm like, at that point, why even send me information? Why even talk to me? Like, seriously? I don't want to be bothered. You wasting your time and my time. If you're going to sit there and it's not me that you have to try and persuade as to what you're doing is right or wrong, right? Most High said it, That's what it is. Verse 17. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth. So the women was like, hey, we're gonna do whatever we want. Somewhat like today, right? Well, there's really, you know, I mean, in some parts of the world, in Middle East, it's more of a men running the show world. And Babylon, it's more of the women running the show. And I know a lot of women are gonna be like, how dare he say that? Well, the women get, over in Babylon, they get the government assistance and the WIC and the child support, and they get the tax credits and all the things. I mean, heck, you know, they get to put a man on child support, but then they get to turn and kill their children with no repercussions, right? Abortion. So I mean, it's a woman's world in Babylon. It's just what it is. Okay. So this was the same thing from all the way back then. They said, we'll do whatever comes out of our mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty victuals and were well and saw no evil. So they were saying, well, ever since we did listen to you for a little bit, we had less food, we had problems, and then evil came to bother us. So we might as well just go ahead and burn these things, because when we did, it brought us peace. Sound familiar today? Oh, the incense, just give me good spirits, give me good vibes, right? Well, I think the new one now, they say, oh, it just give me good frequencies. Witches usually say that, right? I'll get into that in another lesson, but they say, yeah, I'm feeling the frequency, I'm feeling the vibes here. It says, since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things. See that? And have been consumed by the sword and famine. You know why that happened? It's because when you stop sinning, Satan comes to test you. Or when you stop sinning, the Most High is going to recompense for what you've done, and you're going to feel it in your hide. And then he's going to say, all right, debt is paid. Okay? It's as simple as that. It says, and when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make cakes to worship her and pour out offerings unto her without our men? Then Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the women and to all the people which had given him that answer, saying, and I'll just keep reading there. The incense that ye burn in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem, ye and your fathers, your kings and your princes and the people of the land, did not the Lord remember them, and came it not into his mind? Watch this. Here's the reaction to, and this is all about burning incense, right? So that the Lord could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings and because of the abominations which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment and a curse without any inhabitant as this day. Because ye burn incense and because ye have sinned against the Lord, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies. Therefore, this evil is happened unto you as at this day. Okay. All over burning incense to another god. Why? Right? All over burning incense, making cakes to other gods, and pouring out drink offerings, right? Uh, man, I mean, serving the Most High, yeah, it comes with some tough points, but it's actually easy with self discipline, right? It's easy with self discipline. Number 16, verse 35 reads, now, I wasn't going to read this whole story, but it said, and there came out of a fire from the Lord and consumed 250 men that offered incense. Now, this was in the time of Moses. You want to sit there and tell me you should be burning incense? You see what the Most High did just to 200 plus men for offering incense to burning? Uh, let's to offering, to approaching the Most High with inference, to bringing near for, look at that, it says, to bring near for whatever purpose. You didn't have to be serving the Most High. That's what sacrifice meant. That's what offering meant, to bring it for whatever purpose. For whatever purpose. I'm going to say it again. For whatever purpose. Now you're held accountable. Anyone you know, or if you know someone tells you about it, now you're held accountable because it says for whatever purpose. Here, and this is the strongest and saddest thing I've read in regards to the book of Maccabees. I'm telling you, if you haven't read it, make sure you read it. Man, it's sad stuff. Okay, so but it also teaches about encouragement and how other brothers and sisters and the children of Israel, overcame certain temptations and how they had to die. That was their testimony to serve the Most High. They had to die just from some of the basic of things. Let's get right into it. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. We're going to go 41 to 64. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. That sounds good, right? Everyone should be all together, right? And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Now, this is where when Christ was teaching, give to Caesar what Caesar's, but unto the Most High you give to him. And this was a prime example. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So now, this is now, brothers and sisters, this is almost like what we've been in the world facing for the past 2.5, 3 years, right? Different laws of the land. Now there is no more compromise, right? You are out there. You are serving the Most High or you're not, okay? And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. Key word, in the temple. Key word, in the temple. Okay. And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. So this king, King Antiochus, he made a law that the children of Israel and anyone serving the Most High of the Bible with the children of Israel should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. So they should commit crimes against the children of Israel. It says, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Well, this is what they were doing. This is what this king commanded to be done. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. You see what's happening here? To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, should die. How many are realizing that this is going to happen again worldwide? Everyone is going to get persecuted if you stand for the Most High, because they're going to start passing laws next year all over the world that's going to put everyone into and I'm talking about everyone into a mindset of compromise. I'm not saying you're going to compromise. I'm saying people are going to think, well, how can I work this? How could I angle this, right? But you got to stay with the Most High. And then they're going to say certain things. They're going to change this currency, or else, right? Or else. You seeing a resemblance here, right? It says, in the selfsame manner, he wrote to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Now, overseer goes to that word police or slave master, by the way. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month of Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. Hint, hint, you want to know what the abomination of desolation is? It is in this chapter. And I laugh when Christians come to me and talk about, oh, well, this is the abomination of desolation. This is, no, it's not. You better read the entire Bible. And it says, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the city of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, that means they tore the Bible all up, which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any book of the Testament, whoever they found with the Bible, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put him to death. Why do you think it says in the scripture, and you know not what you serve, what you're doing? Many people don't know. You may think of the Bible as a book, but would you die for it? Would you die for it? Because our forefathers did. And I wanna share this to you, right? Everything that they did, these individuals read the Bible and knew what the Most High hated. Right? Let's break it down. They didn't want the children to be circumcised, right? They set up altars in groves and chapels. They sacrificed swine and unclean beasts. They polluted the sanctuary. They profaned the Sabbaths and the holy days. They made strange laws. They burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. They tore apart the Bible. All these things the Most High hates. Also connecting this with incense. If the Most High, if they use this to provoke the Most High, how do you think the Most High feels about it? You think he wants you doing it? You think he wants you doing that? There you go. Verse 58, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, every single month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God. At that which at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that has caused their children to be circumcised. So now all the mothers who wanted their children to be circumcised according to the law, they had the mothers killed on the altar of God. And they hang the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they rather to die that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel. So all the things that they doing, brothers and sisters, I mean, think about it, right? Everything that we see in this world today is opposite of these things, right? For example, they said they hung the infants who were circumcised because the mothers wanted their children to be according to the Most High's law. Now they just celebrate the woman who wants to kill the child, right? That's law and everyone loves it. They're not putting the woman to death. They're saying, hey, we want you to live, but what comes out of you, let's kill it. And you best believe these atrocities happen by the days now, not by the months. I think I shared videos where they kicking and tearing the Bible apart at pride parades, right? You got the witches burning incense. When now I don't support no politician, but you have witches who came together to see Donald Trump not win the election. I got that as well. I got witches testimonies who actually call celebrities and political figures to come and do a spell for them so they can win elections. And you talking about incense ain't nothing. Okay. You talking about, oh, it's just Halloween. It's just the candles. Okay. Sure it is. Sure it is. But I'm going to share because incense and incense reading and candles and vigils and all that evil stuff is really big during Halloween, is it not? It really is. Revelation 8. Now, here's the book of Revelation. 8, 2 through 4 reads, And I saw 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense. Now, this is an angel, okay? This is an angel. Please read this carefully. There was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. Verse 4, the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. Now, check this out. You see how it keeps mentioning incense with prayers of the saints? Incense with prayers of the saints? Hold that thought. Revelation 5, 1 through 10. And I read, I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said, and one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. That's Christ. And behold, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. Now, whoa, hold on. It says golden vials full of odors, which are prayers of saints. In order for you to understand what odors are, you'd have to have a concordance. Boom. We got one. Look what it says. It says odors means incense. So the golden vials full of incense are the prayers of saints. This is not physical incense. Our prayers are considered incense. That means the Most High loves to smell the aroma that comes from you. He don't need you to sit there and burn a twig. He want to hear from you. Why are you burning a stupid twig? He wants to hear from you. You don't believe me? You would need to see precept upon precept, right? Psalms 141. Wonder what we're going to find here. David. Psalms 141, verse 2 through 5 reads, "Let my prayer be sent forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice." So your prayers at night is considered an evening sacrifice, or I shouldn't even say your prayers. I'm saying your praise, praising the Most High, lifting up your hands and praising Him in the evening is as evening sacrifice. And praying to the Most High is the incense. Who knew that? Bomb drop. We don't like that stuff. Leave that to the witches. Don't do that. It says, "Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with the men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainties." You see that? That's deep. You see what David was asking? Incline not my heart to any evil thing. Please, Most High, don't let me practice wicked works with men that work iniquity. That means don't let me do things that the evil do. Teach me if something is wrong. Reveal to me if something is wrong through your scriptures, through your ministries. And don't eat of their dainty things. It's going to be an issue for some people. But hey, dainty is like delicacies, the finest of things, right? Now, uh, to me, I got a problem with Babylon. I don't, and in Europe and been to Japan and Korea, and I'm like, what is the fascination with all these people in medium rare? Like, I'm like, it's not cooked. You know what I'm saying? It's not cooked. Like that's a delicacy for these people, right? Lobster is a delicacy. Uncooked foods is a delicacy. Hey, I'm even get to the Arabs. They eat they eat camel parts, and sometimes they eat eyes, and Ethiopians they eat kit food. That's a raw flesh, and you know people eat chitlins, and Babylon, Judah, and Mexican brothers and sisters they eat tongue and all that. Like, oh man, come on, that ain't right, man. Come on, that's slave food, right? That was, I mean, there's no reason for people to be eating this stuff. I could see if you were a slave and this is all they gave you, even still that's wrong, but that would be the only way that I would be eating that trash, and I wouldn't be eating it then. I'd have to die. I'd eat the grass and the tree bark before I eat that nastiness. Never in my life touched it ever, even out of the truth. And it says in verse 5, "Let the righteousness smite me. It shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head, for yet my prayers also shall be in their calamities." So, brothers and sisters, lifting up your hands to praise the Most High is an evening sacrifice. That's right. Go to sleep with a song of the Most High, your shop music, okay? Or sing a song, get a hymn book, and sing to the Most High, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I got me a hymn book. Go and get you a hymn book. Most High don't care how you sing it, as long as you do it from your heart, right? Who's judging you? I don't care if you can sing or not. I can't sing. But the Most High, He already knew that, right? He didn't give everyone the voice to sing. So What am I? I'm gonna not sing because I can't sing? No, you're gonna hear me. You're gonna hear me. All right. And let your prayers be as incense. Now we know incense smell good, right? We're not supposed to light them ourselves nor be around it. But if you've ever burned incense out of the truth, you know it smells pretty good, right? It has a nice aroma. So let that also be in consideration. Let your prayers be that nice aroma for the Most High. See what I'm saying? All right, video time. Fair use, fair use.
Halloween is one of America's most popular holidays. However, it's not all fancy dress and candy. For the countries who observe this autumnal celebration, Halloween represents a time of superstition and the paranormal, as the nights grow darker and winter closes in. Increasingly, it seems that this ghostly holiday is also a time for sugar-coated abundance, with 1/4 of America's annual confectionery sales occurring around Halloween.
Mm.
However, it has not always been this way. So where did this peculiar festival originate? Although the word Halloween is a contraction of the Christian observance of All Hallows' Eve, hallowed meaning holy, it is widely believed that many of the traditions associated with Halloween can be traced back to ancient festivals. In particular, it is the 2,000-year-old pre-Christian Celtic festival of Samhain. The night of the 31st of October, Samhain, marked the start of the Celtic year. It was the end of summer and the harvest season, and the beginning of darkness and the cold. Indeed, the word Samhain comes from the Old Irish for summer's end. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. An important part of the celebrations was the lighting of special bonfires. As Samhain was regarded as a time of year when the boundary between this world and the other world was at its thinnest, the bonfires were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers.
My foot.
Due to the proximity of the other world, the Celts believed that the souls of dead family members revisited their homes on Samhain.
Now, don't that sound like the Day of the Dead too? Are they talking about their dead family members and bringing food to them? Brothers and sisters, it's the same thing. You ain't exclusive celebrating these pagan demonic days. They don't they got you into one big trick, worshiping Lucifer.
Such lavish hospitality was provided. Places at feast tables were set for them, and offerings of food were left. Nuts and apples were popular. The prevalence of these foodstuffs can still be seen today in the same traditions of apple bobbing and the roasting of nuts.
Whoa! So they got roasting of the nuts and apple bobbing from Halloween. Who would have thought?
A mystical race comparable to fairies or elves, known as the Ishi, were also thought to walk more actively than usual amongst the living on Samhain.
So Disney done made you believe that fairies and all that stuff was just, child's play. Fairies are demons, okay? And they are real. I've seen a recording. Someone caught it on their ring. I was like, my, oh my. I mean, does it surprise you?
Meant that guising, namely the tradition of dressing up in costume, was practiced. Because
Now, guising, remember I showed you it went to Geezer, right? To disguise.
of its effectiveness at disguising oneself from the occasionally fearsome Ishi. It has been suggested that, in order to
And they blaspheme Christ because Ishi is Christ's name, right? Ishi in the Bible means my husband. Ishi is Christ. They blaspheme Christ as well in this pagan ritual day.
conceal one's identity, ashes taken from the sacred bonfire may have been used to blacken participants' faces. As well,
So they don't burn bones in this bones fire and then put the ashes of the bones on their faces. Does this sound righteous at all? This is some sick, twisted stuff.
serving a protective purpose, bonfires were also used to burn offerings of crops and cattle.
So now they burn in offerings.
Samhain was also an important time of year for the practice of divination. The
Whoa!
presence of otherworldly entities such as the Aishi were thought to make it easier to predict the future.
There they go. There they go, trying to do divinations.
At a time of looming darkness and cold, a favorable prophecy would provide unrivaled comfort for a superstitious culture. By the time the Romans left the British Isles in the 5th century AD, the traditions of Samhain had evolved. Most notable are the Roman festivals of Parentalia and Pomona. Both would have a lasting impact on the legacy of modern-day Halloween.
Now, Parentella is Penoma is November 1st. Parentala is a 9-day festival that begins on February 13th. Okay, February 13th, but it is still highly important for Halloween.
The former, Parentalia, was a 9-day religious holiday held in honor of family ancestors. Although celebrated in mid-February, Parentalia observed the ties between the living and the dead in a similar manner to Samhain. In particular, it is the last day of the festival which historians cite as the most important in the history of Halloween. The midnight rites which were performed in commemoration of the dead were believed to exorcise and cleanse. According to Ovid, Roman citizens were instructed to bring offerings to the tombs of their dead, which consisted of at least an arrangement of wreaths, a sprinkling of grain, and a bit of salt.
Hey, my Mexican brothers and sisters, or anyone else doing the Day of the Dead, that day don't belong to you. That's a Roman custom. That's a Roman custom. You may say, how in the world did Mexicans get a Roman custom? Good question, isn't it? How did Mexicans? Never mind. You already know.
Soaked in wine and violence scattered about. The second of the festivals honored the Roman goddess of fruitful abundance, Pomona. It is her association.
Now that's the one. Panoma is November 1st. The worship of Panoma.
Orchard fruit, which may help to explain the continued importance of apples, in particular apple bobbing and toffee apples, in modern Halloween celebrations.
Well, when they cover the apples with caramel, that was to a god. Boy, they got a lot of us, didn't they? They got us, didn't they?
The widespread observation of Halloween in modern Western cultures is largely due to the Christianization of Samhain by the Church in the 7th century. On the 13th of May, 609, Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Pantheon in Rome
in honor of all Christian martyrs, and thus the Catholic Feast of All Martyrs' Day was established in the Western Church. During the pontificate of Gregory III, the festival was expanded to include All Saints as well as All Martyrs. All Saints' Day, as it was now known, was also referred to as All Hallows' Day, in reference to the holiness of all saints known and unknown.
Mm.
It was in 835 that All Hallows' Day was officially moved to the 1st of November at the behest of Pope Gregory IV. As with many other major early Christian festivals, including Easter and Christmas, a vigil would be held the night prior to All Hallows' Day. Thus, All Hallows' Eve, Helloween, now fell on the same day as Samhain, between dusk and dawn, the 31st of October to the 1st of November.
Bet you didn't know that. 31st to the 2nd. I bet you didn't know that.
Many historians agree that the Church was attempting to replace the widely popular Celtic Festival of the Dead with a similar Church-sanctioned holiday. By the 9th century, the merger can be said to have been a success, as the influence of Christianity spread into Celtic lands, blending with and supplanting older Celtic traditions. The following is an extract from a book by a Christian minister, which details how the Celtic custom of wearing costumes remained relevant to Christian belief. It was traditionally believed that the souls of the departed wandered the earth until All Saints' Day, and All Hallows' Eve provided one last chance for the dead to gain vengeance on their enemies before moving to the next world.
That's the day you want to celebrate? I'm good. I'm okay.
In order to avoid being recognized by any soul that might be seeking such vengeance, people would don masks or costumes to disguise their identities.
Wow.
The Samhain tradition of lighting bonfires also lived on in medieval Christendom. Across medieval Europe, soul lights were lit to guide the souls of the dead as they passed on, and to deflect any vengeful amongst them from haunting the households of honest Christian folk. Similar was the offering of food to departed family members. A practice that continues to this day in Spain is the leaving of special pastries known as bones of the holy on the grave of loved ones.
So they make treats called bones of the holy. You can't make this sick stuff up, right? You can't. And you're going to sit there and tell me this is not a religious day. Come on. You just got to be just as ignorant as can be. If you can't see that this is a religion, it's a religion.
Moving closer to modern times, it was not until the influx of Catholic migrants in the 19th century that All Hallows' Day and Halloween were celebrated nationally in America. Prior to that, rigid Protestant belief systems had limited its observance in areas such as New England. As Halloween spread across the United States, a distinct...
Now, they brought all their paganism to New England area. They got the Devil's Triangle. They got Salem over there for the witches. Hey, and they put up there the United Nations. Come on now. I don't even say nothing. They brought all the European nations, they brought all that witchcraft to America. That's what they bought when they came with the slaves and the natives and all the people that was already there. They bought all kinds of devil worshiping. And that some reason everyone proclaims that the people teaching in the Bible is correct. I think the people who brought like the witchcraft to Babylon, they should stop teaching. I think we gotta acknowledge everyone's past, not just slavery. We gotta acknowledge everyone's past and see who brought what and for what reason. Like they brought the what was it, the pox, the monkey pox, and the Black Plague and all that. They put it in the blankets and stuff like that. The smallpox. They put the smallpox in the blankets, right? They also bought their pagan religions, right? Hey, no one wants to talk about the truth. Let's not just talk about slavery. Let's talk about all of it, right?
The American version of the holiday began to flourish. Once more, Halloween's Celtic roots were visible, this time in the belief amongst young women.
Look at that. We hope you to meet you there, heaven and how to get there. Is there a heaven for pumpkin heads? You see that? Is there a heaven for Come on now.
Roots were visible, this time in the belief amongst young women that they could divine the name or even appearance of their future husbands by doing tricks with mirrors.
So now the women started, oh, mirror, mirror on the wall. They came from women wanting to do witchcraft. Come on now. I mean, as it was then, so it is today. I mean, a lot of women into that witchcraft and crystals and divinations. Like, oh, come on.
By the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween was far less religious centric.
Now this look creepy and racist at the same time. That's why I said we got to acknowledge all of it, not just the slave ships. We got to acknowledge what the people brought, their ideology, their mindset, right? And instead of a lot of people saying, "Oh, the Bible belongs to a white person," that's a lot of people say that. No, witchcraft does. They brought witchcraft to America. That's what they brought, witchcraft.
Community gatherings and child-friendly activities were prioritized over the remembrance of saints. Nowadays, Halloween is one of the major holidays in America and is celebrated across the Western world.
Mm.
Although it looks very different from its Samhain roots, many Celtic traditions, including dressing up, the association with death, superstition, and the importance of food and feasting, still remain important aspects of modern-day Halloween.
Come on now.
Thank you for watching.
It's all pagan. It's all pagan. It's all pagan. Exodus 22, 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Now, obviously, I'm not saying to go and hurt nobody because vengeance is the most highest, right? What it says: whisper a spell, enchant, practice magic. Now we understand. We already went through it, right? Let's do some digging. Okay? Let's do some digging. Who's with me? Let's do some digging real quick. Oh no, what are they doing? I don't like that they did that. Ah, why do they do that? They black out my screen. They're supposed to keep it light. Oh, there we go. Praise the Most High. All right. Abacomancy. I'm going to give y'all a treat. Abacomancy is Divination, interpreting patterns of dust, dirt, silt, sand, ashes, or ashes of the recently deceased. Occultomancy, divination that uses needles for readings, almost reminding you of acupuncture. That's what it reminds me of. Right? That's I mean, it's got the same root word, right? Oh, wait. Let me see. Occultomancy. I'll just hover around them. Allomancy. Allomancy says influenced by allomancy. Let's see. The divination diviner casts salt crystals into the air and interprets the pattern as it falls to the ground or travels through the air. Let's see this one real quick. The use of needles for readings. Using the olden days, Romani people used to read and use needles as pointers. I'm telling you, acupuncture is definitely a part of that. Aeromancy, the conditions of the sky. Alga, algamatomancy, is the method in which hereto unnamed, so prophecy or power of prophecy seem more scientific, so they don't really give one there. Ike Monanti, used for sharp pointed objects. Aileromancy, movements, divination using cat movements and jumps to predict them. And that's why they got all them cats. Some women got all them cat ladies. The witches love the cats. So sick stuff, man. Allomancy, we went over that one. Look, alphabetomancy, divination involving barley cakes and loaves of barley bread. Okay, just like in the Bible, we were talking about making cakes to the Queen Mother, to the Queen of Heaven. Yes, that's alphabetomancy. Alvaromancy is about sound. Okay, it's about sound. It says divination by sounds. Amathomancy, divination by soil and prophecy. Let me see. Uh, ambulomancy. I wish they just give the, instead of saying the method of, just give what it is. Let's see. And you know, brothers and sisters, they like to keep a lot of this away from us. This one's sick. Hammond-mancy. The divination of the future of a child is predicted from the caul covering at their head at birth. So you know how they'd be like, oh, it's so soft. They'd be looking at it, right? They say the color and consistency of the caul, which is top of their head, are used to interpret their future. A vivid color is supposed to reflect a vivid life, whilst the opposite is also true. And that's necromancy by placenta. Oh, snap, right? Sick. Animoscopy, necromancy by wind, anthomancy by flowers, by burning of coals, and I'll just go through these. Burning by human sacrifice, divination by physical appearance, anthroscopy by chance encounters with animals, divination by spiders, divination by sacred relics, by altars, by assigning numerical value, by one's own shoulders, by sitting in a drawn circle. You know what those witches and demonic people do. Now I'm gonna just let y'all go through this. By lightning, by celestial bodies. I mean, they got all that. Burning of the sage. That's big. All the people with incense usually deal with that. Divination by smoke. Melting wax, burning, burn. I'm gonna just go through these. I'm not gonna read them all. Just go through these, brothers and sisters. So when y'all get on your off time, if it interests you to stay away from these things or to know what it is, maybe you may know someone that might be dealing with these things. Yeah, you want to stay away. Divination by colors, colormancy, divination by shells, like seashells, by wine in a brass bowl, hanging sieves, divination by crawling babies. Oh, there's some sick stuff. Divination by onion sprouts, by ice, by swirling water in a cup. I mean, we can't get a break, can we? They made everything evil. Burning laurel wreaths, finger movements, okay? To define the form of divination using rings, dactylomancy, finger movements. Yeah, I want to see this one real quick. Nope, ain't got it. Now you want to know when I think of finger movements, I think of gangs when they be doing all the finger gestures and the hand gestures. That's divinations. All the Phi Kappa Phi and Beta and the sororities and fraternities, those are all divinations. Scrolling through a little more, animal, oh, horoscopes. I mean, brothers, sisters, good grief. I'm just trying to inform. Hey, these are the things. Look at that, divination by feng shui, the incense. Divination by birth dates. People do that too. They do the astrology, they do the horoscopes. In fact, we at H, horoscope. Yes, horoscopes is divination. Hypnomancy, divination by putting people to sleep. That's why they say if you read in the Testament of Solomon, there's a spirit that can put you to sleep. If you're always tired all the time, pray for that spirit to be off you. They got I'm not gonna mention this one, but yeah, this is the worst one. This is Hollywood, the Kabbalah. I'm not gonna get into that though. They canceled me. By bamboo, by incense again, the vapor. Once again, let me just keep going. By gems and stones. And that's what all the witches and all the females on Instagram and all the social media, they got the crystals and all that. By candles. Candles, like I said, it's the same thing as incense. Liomancy, gaining deeper insights and meanings through fire. Now, I'm going to make this clear. If there's a blackout, you need a candle. Use the candle, right? That's not divination, okay? But if you lighten the candle and trying to do certain stuff and get a good smell or a feng shui, I mean, you can get a spray can for that, right? Why you need to do the candles, right? For the smells. I mean, I don't know, but hey, whatever. Whatever. If you don't believe me, do as you wish and you'll stand before the Most High. That's how it is, right? Mahogany tiles. Now, remember they made a game called Mahogany on the computer where you had to fix up the stuff? Who knew? I didn't know that was divination, but that was. They put it on everyone's computer. Divination by nursing. Fortune telling with tarot cards, pendulums. Oh, they don't got nothing on this one. And I think that's the mother's nursing through breast milk, says breast. Divination by sleeping, the poppy seeds. All the witches love poppy. Oh, I love the poppy seed. What's the point of the poppy seed? I just don't get it. Okay, but hey, it says divination by foolishness to be dull. Good grief. I'm gonna keep going, keep going. Summoning damned souls. Look at this. Invocations. All right. There goes our famous word, necromancy. By the dead, by corpse. Okay, going forward, going forward. Necromancy by navels, like your belly button. Everyone talking about any, outie, oh, I could. Oh, sick. By minerals. Keep going. Pendulums. And you look, right? Organoscopy. Now they use ology or scopy for health. I'm telling you, all those things that they do. Look, by lots or ballots. By lots or ballots. Divination, drawing pebbles from a pile. So even casting ballots for voting is also a part of divination. If you vote, I mean, if you vote, you got a lot to answer to because your king's supposed to be Christ. That's just the bottom line. Like, you really think anything gonna change? Goodbye. Moving forward, scrolling to scrolling. Rhapsody, I told you, by poetry. They got that music site or whatever. By mirrors. By the moon. And here I'm just scrolling through fast now, just to get through. Some of these things we went over. Look at that. Videomancy. Okay. Divination by film. So guess what? They can put witchcraft through movies. I think we should all know that by now, right? Cracking a wishbone or collecting a wishbone is divination. It says cifercula or wishbone. Hey, there's a lot, brothers and sisters. When I've done the research on this, jaw was dropped. That's all I'm going to say. Moving forward, Chronicles. Chronicles chapter 10, verse 13 through 14 reads, So Saul died for his transgressions which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him and turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse. So you want to know how Saul got it? Hey, Most High was like, hey, you're not following me. You are seeking necromancers. You are seeking the dead. You are seeking mediums as to how to run a kingdom. I gave you the kingdom. You're supposed to be running it through me, not the dead. All right? Hey, Dr. Phil, he a witch or warlock. Oprah's warlock. Ellen DeGenerate, witch. Uh, uh, Steve Harvey, he's something. Yeah, he's something. I don't know what he is, but I definitely know he's confused. He's confused. One minute, he's quoting the scriptures. One minute, he's a Muslim. He's confused. Okay. In fact, all of them celebrities, they all confused. 1 Corinthians 10. And 21 reads, you cannot. Well, actually, no, go wait for this one. Just a minute. Just a minute. Got another video for you. Last long one. Right. Fair use.
400 years ago in England, a man transformed into a legend when he hatched a plot to bring down the government. But believe it or not, today, this infamous terrorist is actually celebrated. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Because when the sun goes down over the town of Lewis, England, it's time for Guy Fawkes Night. Wait, you've never heard of Guy Fawkes Night? Bonfire Night? No? Okay, well, here's what you can expect. There are these guys, bonfires, torches, about 60,000 spectators.
Ooh, look at that. That's the UK.
And every kind of firework you can imagine. There are also effigies of Guy Fawkes, the namesake of Lewis' annual descent into pyromania.
Divination through fire.
Is a member of the Lewisboro Bonfire Society, which dates back to 1853.
Look at all them people.
They helped keep Guy's legacy alive.
Guy Fawkes was probably the first world terrorist.
We celebrate a struggle, really, and resistance. But who was this Guy Fawkes? And what the heck is going on here? For that, let's rewind a few hundred years. It's 1604. King James I and the Protestant Church of England have made life pretty much impossible for the Catholics. Desperate for change, a group of radical Catholics secretly bands together and takes an oath to dethrone King James and end Protestant rule by any means necessary.
Knights Templar?
These guys aren't messing around either. Their plan? Kill the king and the members of the Houses of Parliament. The conspirators include a man named Guy Fawkes, a seasoned war veteran who's ready to die for the cause. They rent a storage room directly below the House of Lords and pack it with 36 barrels of gunpowder, enough to level a city block. They use stacks of firewood to camouflage the explosives. With the gunpowder in place, Fawkes volunteers for the operation's most dangerous and critical assignment. When Parliament is called into session, Fawkes will light the fuse. The plot to blow up the government hits its first snag when the opening of Parliament is delayed due to an outbreak of the plague. So, Guy Fawkes leaves the explosive stockpile unattended and prays the plan remains a secret. Unfortunately, one of his co-conspirators breaks ranks and sends an anonymous letter to a government official, warning that Parliament was going to receive, quote, a terrible blow. Word of the leak gets back to Fawkes. Compelled to prove his commitment to the cause, he goes to check on the hidden barrels of gunpowder and is relieved to find them untouched and ready for detonation. The countdown is back on. 10 days and England's Parliament will be blown to smithereens. Back in present-day Lewis, nothing is sacred. Effigies of England's top government officials, celebrities, and world leaders are paraded through town on a march plans for November 5th, 1605.
November 5th now.
The day before the opening session of Parliament, news of the imminent threat reaches King James, and he orders a full search of the area. Within hours, his men find Guy Fawkes in the room directly below the House of Lords. Fawkes says his name is John Johnson and claims the pile of firewood he's guarding belongs to his master. Amazingly, they take him at his word. Fawkes manages to evade capture and is now poised to send England into chaos and perhaps even change the future of government forever. It's just before midnight on November 4th, 1605, and Guy Fawkes is just hours away from igniting a stockpile of gunpowder intended to wreak havoc on England's oppressive Protestant government. But King James orders his soldiers to return to the basement and once again question the man guarding the store of firewood. Fawkes is still at his post. They take a closer look at the woodpile and make a shocking discovery: the hidden barrels of gunpowder. The men take Fawkes into custody and bring him before the king. Maintaining his loyalty to the cause, Fawkes declares that he acted alone, defiantly adding, "I wanted to blow you back to your Scottish mountains." While the king is impressed by Guy's fortitude, he still wants the names of his co-conspirators. He orders Fawkes thrown into a cell below the Tower of London. Fawkes withstands 3 days of torture before he starts giving up names. In the following weeks, all the collaborators in the plot are hunted down. Those taken alive are brought to trial, and the judge shows no mercy. The men are ordered to be hanged, but not to death. After squirming on the noose, they're then to be drawn and quartered in the public square. Oof, that's harsh. For those of you who don't know what drawn and quartered is, it's kind of like what happens to a chicken before it gets fried and tossed in a bucket. Basically, a gruesome punishment designed to get one's point across. But legend says Fawkes figures out a way to get off easy. As the noose is placed over his head, he leaps from the gallows, breaking his neck and dying instantly. He is spared the cruel and painful death of his co-conspirators. But the king's not done. As a warning to any future rebels, Guy Fawkes' head is placed on a spike on London Bridge. The king then decrees the observance of the 5th of November Act, an annual celebration of his thwarting of the plot to take down Parliament. In the years that followed, holiday revelers burned effigies of the Pope and other religious figures to uphold the anti-Catholic sentiment that Guy Fawkes himself really took center stage when children began carrying effigies of him. And for many, the festival gradually became an event that honors a fearless rebel who died for his cause.
Everyone loves a good villain. Maybe that is the irony of it. We used fireworks to celebrate what would have happened if he hadn't been caught.
So while he didn't actually manage to bring down his government, the legend of Guy Fawkes lives on. A mask resembling his image has become the literal face of free speech, used as the symbol for web vigilantes, Anonymous, and in the film V for Vendetta.
So when you see that movie, which I've seen this years ago, but when you see this movie and see this scene,
More perfect stage.
this was Guy Fawkes. This was a movie about Guy Fawkes. Remember the 5th of November.
In honor of the holiday she seems to have taken from these parts, and in recognition of the impostor that stands in her stead. Tell me, do you know what day it is, Evie?
November the 4th.
Not anymore. Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgone. First, the overture. Yes, yes, the strings. Listen carefully, can you hear it? Now the brass.
I can hear it.
Notice it says curfew.
Here comes the Christian Lord.
Hey, have you ever seen that movie V for Vendetta? That's what it was about. Guy Fawkes Day. Now let's finish these scriptures. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21 reads, "Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils." Matthew 6 and 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else He will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. And we know the word mammon as another name for Lucifer, which is wealth, luxury. Finishing it off, 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 17 reads, Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, be ye separate, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. Now you may be asking, why am I ending it with this? You can't sit at the table with two. You can't participate in this stuff and then say you serve the Most High. You understand? Next, for the next portion of this lesson, we're going to be going into possession through submission. So all the individuals who are, worshiping this day as a holy day, or these days as holy days, well, guess what? Well, Most High got something for you. This is just a preview into what, and this is just a preview as to how crazy it looks when you participate and sit at the cup of devils trying to proclaim a child of the Most High. Fair use.
Each wife has written a manual as a guide to the running of their homes.
Welcome to our home. My name is Emmy. My husband is Eric, and we have two beautiful daughters.
I'm Monica, and I'm the mom. I just like to call myself a witch kid. I knew it. Oh, I knew it.
I'm the senior pastor of our church. We also specialize in the spiritual warfare and what? Oh my God. And we cast out demons and devils. That's insane. They are not putting their hands on me and casting out anything.
We have two boys and one girl. And all the kids love tarot cards and Ouija boards. This is dangerous.
As a preacher, my life is often filled with helping others. Now I find myself often feeling guilty. Even when I am present with Marissa, my mind is often on the ministry. How could it be a struggle to put your children first as a mother?
I don't even want bigoted people in the house. Well, I don't want witches in mine. So we're even. Woo.
It's now time for the wives to meet their new husbands and families.
Hey. Hi. I'm Emmy.
Oh.
Yeah, your house is different.
Yeah.
What would you call your family as far as like religion?
Not for the faint of heart.
I actually am a senior pastor of a Christian church. I actually specialize in the art of casting out evil spirits and demons.
Man, that's not going to work for me. This week is going to be a challenge.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Eric.
I'm Monica. Nice to meet you.
This is Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
This is Mariah.
Hi, Mariah.
Say hi.
Can I hold Mariah?
She just woke up,
No.
so. Monica seems a little weird. I noticed that she has the collar and the black lipstick, black eyeliner, all black clothing. It is quite different than what we're used to.
The manual did make me a little bit nervous.
Okay.
Valak and I are both pagan. So I think that's what made me very nervous about the manual, because it was very, very strong against other religious beliefs.
It's not cool to praise pagan gods in our home.
Right.
At all. No way. I'm really not comfortable with having this woman in my house or around my kids at all. Man, you know what? Let me go take them. I'm gonna take them upstairs. Come on, go upstairs. Okay? Come on.
Good job, Dad.
What is that in the corner over there?
That is Monica's altar. Monica, she is a
Which,
natural witch.
would you call yourself warlock?
That's another name for Loa.
That's the wife's altar.
Is
Now, what this look like? This is exactly what the Most High said. Them incense, right? This is what they burn the incense on. Don't sit there and tell me. Don't you dare tell me that incense ain't of the devil. It's as simple as that.
his altar. Monica, she's a
Which,
natural witch.
would you call yourself warlock?
That's just another name for what I do.
Okay.
I would say that my religion is based on myself. So I'm the master of my own destiny.
Come sit with me. Come on. I'll be my daughter. I want somebody close. You? Okay?
I was a little upset with the way that Emmy brought Janie so close to her like that. I don't want her trying to convert my kids. Well, the true idea of demonology is to project a demon to do whatever you want.
In my faith, any witchcraft is considered evil. All of it.
In my house, you're not going to sit there and tell me that I'm wrong for doing something the way that I do it. That's a no-go.
Wait,
So-
excuse me. I didn't ask you. I listened to you, and so
I'm still talking.
I stated my beliefs like you stated yours.
This is my life. This is my home. You're now in a house full of witches. So what do you think you're going to do?
And that's how crazy people look dealing with Helloween and all the things that are part of it, and then saying they serve the Most High. He said, what do you think you're going to accomplish? Right? All right, brothers and sisters, I wanted to leave this particular lesson with that last scripture and that video, because next lesson, possession through submission. We're talking about all the people who consider Halloween as a holy day to them, witches in all. With that being said, I love you all. Have a blessed day. Shalom.